Alright, so I've tried a lot of different things to quiet down the fuel pump that comes with these diesel heater units, and this is sort of the culmination of all of that effort. And basically, what this box does is it combines everything that I've tried to quiet down this fuel pump that's worked somewhat into one thing. So, to start, this box is made out of half-inch marine grade sandy plywood. I have it closed with these two suitcase latches, and then the door is sealed with half-inch window sealing foam. And then on the inside of the plywood, I have this sound deadening material. And I don't really know if the combination of plywood and sound deadening material is the best. I would think that like a 3/4 inch MDF would actually work better. And then the wires that go to the fuel pump, I just have closed in the door. The main thing to keep in mind here is I don't want to close the door with tension on the wires. So this is just kind of loose so it doesn't transmit vibration to the box. And then the fuel pump is suspended by this shock cord, and you can see there's not a lot of tension on the shock cord. And all the shock cord is doing is really just keeping the fuel pump centered in the box. It's keeping the pump from actually touching the wall of the box. So it's like the shock cord keeps the pump floating in there. And that's really its only purpose. We don't want to tightly constrain it with the shock cord. And then you'll notice I'm using this fuel line in a way that a lot of people will be upset about. And what you're supposed to do is only use this line for fittings, basically, and then this line adapts so you can use this hard nylon line. And the reason you do that is because this dosing pump provides a pulse of fuel to the heater unit, and then the fuel is forced through an atomizing screen. So you want a strong pulse of fuel. You don't want to dribble, because if you have fuel just dribbling through the atomizing screen, then you don't get good complete combustion, and that can lead to sooting. At least that's what I read on the internet. I don't really know. I also read on the internet that if you have a short run, so like I think I have less than 3 feet between the fuel pump and the heater, you can get away with using this soft line. And the reason you want to use this soft line is because this nylon line really transmits vibration. You can actually see it jump when the dosing pump ticks. And just switching to this soft line makes a really big difference. And then the next thing I did is I bent this line at 90-degree angle on both sides. And I saw this on the internet too. I guess the theory is it prevents the pulse from traveling down the line. But what I think is actually happening here is it allows the fuel pump to move really easily along this axis, along the axis that the dosing pump actuates. And so it kind of dampens the vibration at the source. I don't think this prevents vibration from being transmitted by bending at 90 degrees. But that's just my theory. And then I have these holes drilled in the box. They're not tight, so we're not trying to get a seal here. You can see there's tons of movement that's allowed, both left and right, and up and down. And the idea here is we know that there's still some vibration coming through this line here, and we don't want to transmit that to the box. And I also have like little pieces of stretch carpet to try to soften the interface between the hose and the box. And then I'm using one of these new so-called quiet diesel heater pumps, and this does make a pretty big difference on its own. I used to just have the pump sitting here in open air, and when I switched over to this fuel pump, it was much quieter. But at least for me, because you can still hear the ticking, it really didn't matter. That was enough to keep me awake, although it was much better than the like incredibly loud tick of the stock fuel pump. So this is a good place to start, and it's definitely necessary if you want to totally silence your fuel pump. And then I don't know if this is important or not, but when I have this box installed, the fuel lines coming out the bottom are at a 90-degree angle. So if we talked before about why this works, we don't really know why bending it at a 90-degree angle works, but it seems to. I have another 90-degree bend on both the inlet and the outlet coming out of the box. So that might make a small difference here. But really, I think this is my first iteration of the box, and there's probably ways that you could tune it to even be quieter. But this is quiet enough for me. When the heater is on a medium setting or higher, I literally cannot hear the fuel pump. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. If you want to see more van life tips, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.